Human with mental disorder is way freaking than ghosts.
Few years back, I'd rented an apartment from a friend of mine. He had recently bought it and had it completely renovated. He put it up for sales but could not find a buyer, so I offered to rent it in the meantime. After moving in, I realized there was something wrong with the lady next door. She was about 45 but looked much older. She would sit up all night listening to Christian radio shows and talking loudly to someone. It got to the point where I couldn't sleep, so I went over to her place and asked her to turn the radio down. She opened the door and I got a quick peek. I get shocked from the intensity of crosses painted on her walls in different colors, and words like Jesus and angels scribbled everywhere. The windows were painted black, letting no light in at all. It was damp, dog shit, and cockroaches everywhere. No dog though. I asked her to please keep it down. She just looked at me and shut the door. Then she turned the radio even louder. The next night, I have my girlfriend staying over. I wake up in the middle of the night and see a shadow of person next to the bed looking at us sleeping. I think I'm hallucinating as I usually do in the dark when I'm sleepy. But then, the shadow starts talking. It is my neighbor. She's holding something in her hand. She broke in during the night, and who knows how long she stood there. You should lock the door at night, she said, and walks out. The next morning, I heard someone making strange noise below my bedroom window. It is my neighbor talking to herself. She has a plastic bag in her hand with her routine dead dog inside. It is hot as hell outside and I can smell death from the bag. At this point, I'm frightened. She's obviously insane. I went upstairs and knocked on another person's door and asked him what is going on here. The guys are scared as me. Apparently, she broke into his apartment one evening while he was watching TV with his kids. He got up from couch to get snacks only to find her behind the couch staring at them holding a power drill. Now, I know what was in her hand. I'm confused. How can I deal with her? I called the cops, and they know all about her. Apparently, she is a violent psychopath and she hasn't taken her meds, but they can't force her onto her apartment without permission. Therefore, they can restrain her only when she goes outside. So, I decided to set up for the next 2 days waiting for her to go outside for any reason. At 2 a.m., she went outside. Immediately, I called the cops. They have 3 cars and special van over in less than 2 minutes. They restrain her and throw her in the van and drive off to some institution. And in less than a minute, it's like she was never there. Still have nightmare about her looking at me in my sleep. You are not alone. When I was 14, my family and I fell on hard time. We got kicked out from our house and ended up in emergency housing. Basically, we went to charity who found us a house that we are able to rent for $100 a month, but only for 3 months. That summer, my mom and stepdad separated temporarily, and my 3 younger siblings would go to my stepdad for a week, then come back to my mom and me. This house was absolutely creepy. It started off with just feeling like something is not quite right, that you may not be the only person in the room. In the day, that all it was, the feeling that something was up, your instinct speaking at you. I tried to ignore it, but as soon as dusk arrived, creepy things would start happening. More than once, I could hear this static music playing, but I couldn't find the source. It just filled the halls. I heard whispers coming from my sister's room, and the open closed, appeared eyes looking at me and disappeared. My brother spent one night in the house and didn't come back. In my room, I couldn't sleep. There was always a scary face of a baby appear from the wall next to me. In my mother's room, the same face also appeared. One night, she and I sat up for 2 hours in her bed watching this face, but this time, he saw a change in his face impression as he is trying to communicate with us. My mom was strongly religious and didn't know what to do with this mysterious thing. One day, there was lunar eclipse. I had never seen one before, and I was very excited for it. When the moon was fully covered, I went outside to watch this phenomenon. It was frightening view, I don't know why. This terror took over me, and I couldn't stay outside. In my way home, suddenly, I could see 3 tall shadows walking in between the tall pine trees and the yard. Panicked, I ran as fast as I can inside into my room, flinging myself under covers with my eyes shut. 3 months of this, we moved out at the end of the summer into new house. My mom and stepdad got back together, and I was with my younger siblings again. We all agreed that house on Ocorn Street was absolutely creepy, and still get chills when we drive by it. After investigation, it turned out that the house built over a mass grave of Muslims murdered by Christian missionaries in Spain.
Here, our story ends. It is not some kind of scary story, but it has some weirdness that every one of us have experienced some of it. If you guys like this kind of video or have some comments, please let me know. And if you have some stories you wanna share with us, please send it to me in the mentioned email.